Oof. Sorry about that one. Here, let me get us set up here. Sorry about the scuff. I know it's not a big deal, just a little confused. One moment, please. There we go. Hello, chat. Thank you for the gifted subs, Neptuni and Kong. And, I'm sorry. Thank you for the gifted sub, Kong. Thank you for the sub, Neptuni, and everybody else who has subbed. Sorry, I ran into some technical difficulties, so I missed a few of them. But, hello, chat. Good evening. Wherever you are. It might be morning. Kind of a weird time to watch an evening stream, but I don't judge your life choices. Thank you for the sub, Demon's Death. Thank you, thank you. Hello, chat. We doing good this evening? Aw, shit, Lord Zelix. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate it, and thank you for the sub, Kiwi Splice and KFP Skipper. I am wearing my noise-canceling headphones today, so I cannot actually hear myself talk, and that kinda sucks. Actually, what ended up happening is I unplugged my headphones and I plugged in earbuds because I could hear myself better. And I don't know what happened, but I think the sound just redirected to somewhere else. Thank you for the sub, Portland Phoenix, the 5-month streak. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get us a little started up here. First, let's get the boy out. Adorable. All right. We doing good tonight? We doing good? You guys drinking anything? I know somebody suggested hot cocoa. I would totally drink hot cocoa, but dairy fucks up your throat and it makes it hard for me to talk. Thank you for the resub, Chris Go. Just water? I'm feeling very well today, Sinister Mike. For those of you who have been keeping up with my personal life, I was on a medication the past month, but I just got off of it, and I realized this is a really, really cliche way of like explaining it, but I kind of feel like a fog has lifted. So I feel way better now. And if you're having a rough evening, I hope I can soothe you with my dulcet tones. I hope I can make you feel better. Thank you for the bits, Ziazi, Jazi, and Sar Nico. Yeah, I feel way better. Thank you, chat. Let me drink a little bit of water, and then we can jump into it. Last time on the adventures of Sir Chad Thundercock Brante, we became a priest and our family is very, very disappointed in us. However, the twin gods spoke directly through our mouths. So basically, I think we're trying to become the Messiah at this point. Is this a good game? I think it's a very cool game. It's sort of it's kind of a virtual novel with multiple choice routes and stats. It's kind of strange. It's interesting. I've never played anything quite like it, but I'm looking out for more games like this. So if you know any other games like this, please let me know. Thank you for the sub, Turlos. I think I'm just gonna hop right in. Whoa, Fallon, thank you for the $15. Oh my god, wait, slow down. Everybody chill. Calm. I lack the words to express my appreciation for who you are and the content you create. Looking forward to story time. Thank you so much, Fallon. Thank you. And thank you for the 10 gifted subs, Joseph ATW. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Disco Elysium. I'll try Disco Elysium. Thank you for the bits, Derpslack. Hope you're feeling better compared to the previous streams I attended. Wish you nothing but the best. Thank you. I'm feeling way better today. And I think we're gonna hop into it right now, baby. And thank you for the resub, Evo. I might miss some subs while I'm reading this because, you know, I don't want it to, like, get in the middle of a sentence. So I might wait until the end of a paragraph and then forget about it, and I'm sorry. Sorry in advance. We're just gonna continue this bad boy. Let's see. I need to play Disco Elysium? I definitely will. Thank you for the bits, Bungie. Bungie Gum. We are 18 years old, chat. Just became an adult. I think we're gonna have to recap a little bit just because of the way this game saves. Thank you for the sub, Wang, and thank you for the sub, Mike the Squid, for the 3-month streak. Thank you, I appreciate it. Let me just dive right in. Relax a little bit. Thank you for being here, chat. You look away from Jean and ask her a question. Does she feel any evil in Aelis's heart? Would she ever use that power to harm others? I think last chapter we learned that Aelis knows magic, which is very taboo in this society. Jean shakes her head. No, Aelis would never do that. But what will she face in the hereafter? How will she be judged? If this is true, you say, then there is no need for the Inquisition. Why do you say that? Because your friend is no Char Milanitis, you say. She's not killing the land, she is not defying the gods' chosen order, she is not starving thousands, and she will never harm others. If Aelis remains free, she will have a choice to willingly accept, reject her accursed power, and accept the lot she was dealt. But if the Inquisition finds her, she will be stripped of her lot and turned to a limp mockery of a human, bound in a silver collar. She will never find her way to the twins in the House of Humility. How dare you say such a thing? This is heresy. The twins abhor all magic. The twins gave people the lots, you say, and they gave them the will to live their lives. The younger shall meet us all in the hereafter, and every decision shall be judged. The mages have their own burden to bear, their own trial to overcome, and that trial is their power. They must overcome it, or fail, and face punishment at the foot of the pillar. Jean leaps to her feet, anger burning in her tearful eyes. And what if the Inquisition finds her? They'll burn her at the stake. And then what? Before that happens, Jean should talk to her friend and explain her situation, you say. Jean must take care of her and teach her how to hide her power. The best way for a witch to stay alive would be to flee Eterna and join a traveling troupe. Jean thanks you. Thank you for the sub, Axel, for the 2 months. Her voice rings with a calm confidence now. She sees that firm faith does not mean zealous dogmatism, you realize. She has had to break the law for the sake of love. The twins are law, yet the twins are also love. We joined a troupe. Youthful actress and singer known as the Golden Voice, she quickly became famous in every inn in Eterna for her irresistibly enchanting looks. She came to the capital along with Jian, who used to be an acolyte at the Temple of the Silver Tree. Cool. Is Chad legal? He is indeed legal. Thank you for the sub, Terlos. The capital is preparing for a great celebration, the coming of age of Jerian Tempest, heir to the throne. Ribbons and flags flutter in the wind, the streets are scrubbed clean, and the scent of flower fills the air. You two set some time aside to join the celebration. It's not often that you can see the ruling family of the Empire firsthand. On the subject of games like this, I recommend Yes, Your Grace. That sounds really familiar. Thank you, Moth Lives Matter. The celebration day comes and Eterna is abuzz. A festive procession starts on the streets. Students from the college and cadets from the military academy march in front, lined up in columns, and other students follow suit. You join the parade around the tail of the procession. Before long, it reaches the square in front of the Emperor's palace. The ruling dynasty of Tempests observes the parade from the palace balcony. They're joined by the Empire's highest dignitaries and province overseers. For the first time in your life, you see Emperor Uther II with your own eyes. There, high up above. The columns of college students and Thank you for the sub, Thoticus 920. And Paladin Calum, thank you. The columns of college students and academy cadets come to a halt at the balcony and salute the Emperor with their mottos. The Emperor raises his hand in a gesture of benevolent greeting. Then, his voice echoes across the square. You can hear him clearly, even from so far away. I accept your gratitude, my loyal subjects. Take pride as you wield your knowledge and valor in service to the Empire. All who are worthy will be ennobled by the mantle by my grace. The nobles-to-be cheer the Emperor's words, but then Archduke Monroe steps onto the balcony, and their jubilation gives way to murmurs of discontent. Everyone here remembers all too well how the ruler of Monia tried to shut down the college by force. Still, the Archduke is the de facto leader of the Archnean gentry. He is a force to be reckoned with, even for the Emperor. Hail your Emperor, common folk. Be forever obedient and grateful for the good graces you do not deserve by birth. But then, everyone goes silent. A young, slender Archnean with a shy smile comes forth. There are whispers in the crowd. That's Prince Jerian, heir to the throne, student of Cornelius, promise and the hope of the common estate. To the left of Jerian is his younger brother, Flavius. He is baffled by the sight of the parade below, too young to process what he is seeing. May the twins be kind to you, my future subjects. I promise to repay you in kind and help you prosper in your loyal service to the Empire. Thank you for the sub, Prestige Hunter. Kind of a weird place to jump into. I wasn't able to finish this chapter during the last stream. Exalted by these words, the nobles-to-be roar as one. All hail Prince Jerian. Another figure steps into view next to the heir. He is an Archnean, elegantly dressed, and his mantle bears the Tempest colors. He raises his arms, about to make a speech. Long live Prince Jerian, students of the college, cadets of the academy, time and again you have proven yourselves to the Empire by word and deed. Today is a day of great celebration, and in honor of Prince Jerian, you must ask the Emperor to guarantee forever the right of distinguished common folk to be ennobled by the mantle. So ask now. Thank you for the Dono's spicy meatball. Thank you so much. I did the meme and got the full moon body pillow, a mini version, however, that arrived today, so I had to give back to you what I can do for the dope artwork. Thank you so much, Spicy Meatball. I hope you enjoy that. A mini one, that sounds adorable. Apologies for asking, is there a business email for folks used to contact you? I do a bit of miniature painting, figured I'd use your color scheme. Oh, you can DM me on Twitch, or you can @ me on Twitter if you want to. I'll reach out to you. The cadets and students freeze in hesitation. They exchange glances, unsure whether to follow the words of the Emperor's own brother. On the balcony high above, Prince Jerian also remains still, listening to every reaction from the crowd. Archduke Monroe briskly steps into view once more. He takes several seconds to observe the crowd before speaking. Absorb. Imperial subjects, what the Emperor's brothers wishes to say is that you must always remember that you owe your status to the Tempest dynasty. The Emperor accepts your gratitude and sends you off with this blessing. You may leave now. Commotion and murmurs spread over the crowd as some of the nobles-to-be refuse to follow Archduke Monroe's order. There are shouts heard here and there. The law! We ask for the law! The academy officers and teachers of the college urge them to fall in line and resume the parade, but tension is rising. The crowd slowly grows enraged and unruly. An Imperial Guard cavalry regiment emerges from the palace. They start slowly advancing on the crowd, hands on their swords, pushing people out of the square. The commoners are now running left and right. You too have to move away. This quickly quells the commotion in the square, and the cavalry withdraws. Emperor Uther II appears on the balcony again. Archduke Monroe stands by his side. The square falls silent at the sight of the sovereign. My subjects, I can see how overjoyed you are for Prince Jerian, but your show of reverence and gratitude was clear enough. Now obey my will. Continue the parade and sing the praises of the Tempest dynasty that has given you so much. The square obediently lines up in columns once again. The bout of defiance is in the past now, and they resume the festive parade through the city streets. Glory to Emperor Uther. Glory to Prince Jerian. There are days when you receive letters from home. Father's writing is very reserved. He mostly discusses events and work in Magra and writes very little about the family. It makes me proud that I have managed to teach Stefan how to handle our affairs at home. Your older brother behaves impeccably at the society balls and receptions that we host. He has already made several crucial acquaintances. But Gloria has a different opinion of Stefan. She thinks your older brother is taking more and more after grandfather. Stefan is a lot like grandfather. It's in his manners, his posture, his voice. He even dresses just like him. He used to be aloof around me, and we barely talked in the past, but now he always blames me and tears me apart. I can't take it anymore. He walks all over me all the time and treats me like a housemaid. Mother writes to you. From her letters, you learn that Nathan just barely managed to graduate from school. It makes me sad to admit that Nathan has none of the talents you have. The other day, he told me he wouldn't even try to study in the capital. He says he wouldn't pass the exams. I find solace only in the nights Nathan and I spend together reading the scriptures and our walks to the church by the silver tree. He accompanies me every time. Your sister and younger brother write about Mother too, and they say the same thing about her health. She now spends more time locked away in her chambers to brood. Gloria does her best to accompany Mother when she leaves home, and Nathan's letters mention her steps echoing in the halls in the middle of the night. There is one more thing Nathan mentions in his letters. Stefan and Gloria have been fighting very often these days. Stefan always tries to get under Gloria's skin, and she answers him in kind. Then Stefan calls her a lowly commoner to make her shut up. You always tremble in excitement each time you see a new letter with the seal of your home province. Your fate is still tightly bound to your families, no matter the distance between you. Why are we losing relations with our siblings? Maybe it was because we became a priest. Thank you for the resub, you mad bro. The months fly by now. Every day at the seminary is filled with study and work. You are being trained to live by your new lot. There could be no rest from service to the twins. You are well acquainted with your instructors now, and with each passing day you come closer to being their equal. Every month you and your class learn more about sacred scriptures and the life and routine of the church, and how to guide others to live by their lots. You learn about the founding of the church and the 3 councils at which the twins' first disciples first established dogmas of the faith. Oh shit, hold on. When the first council met, they pronounced that the twins' faith would be the only faith throughout the empire for all eternity, and that the Tempest dynasty would rule the land by their will, for they were chosen by the gods. The First Council also condemned all magic within the Empire other than the orders sent down from the twins themselves. The Inquisition was created to enforce the order established by the twins and cleanse all heresy and sorcery from hearts, minds, and bodies. Mages and witches were offered 2 choices. They could either accept the collar and reject their powers, or perish in the ritual of purifying flame. When the Second Council met, the Holy Order was founded. It became the mighty sword wielded by the Church against its enemies. Nobles who sought to serve the twins with their arms formed the ranks of this order. Thank you for the bits, Cooner Ball. I'm never usually up this late, so I have some biddies for all your clips I enjoy during the day. Thank you, Cooner. When the Third Council met, the two books of Prophet Asadius and the accounts of the twins' own lives were deemed sacred by the scriptures of the faith. It was then pronounced that no more councils would ever be convened so that the foundations of the faith could never be warped. The main dogmas of the faith are the same for everyone. However, the seminary students prepare for the lot that lies ahead in different ways. Some of them study the scriptures, spending hours at the temple every day, attending every sermon, mastering the art of preaching. Jean also often appears among their ranks. These preachers ardently follow the age-old traditions and dogmas, doing everything just as it was done hundreds of years ago. Others, you can call them supplicants, rarely attend sermons, but spend plenty of time in prayer rooms and temples and by the altars. You know these supplicants are seeking the twins within themselves and looking for them in the signs and revelations they experience. There are still others who are never seen during sermons or in prayer rooms. You only see them during lessons, and when a lesson is over, they cross the gate of the seminary and disappear into the city, often waking you up when they return in the small hours of the night. The secret society, you call these students, who are clearly united by a shared mystery. There are only a handful of them. When they meet, they sit at the same table and speak in hushed whispers, falling silent if anyone tries to approach them. You have not joined any of these groups yourself. For now, you spend your days and nights in study. Today is yet another ordinary day at the seminary. You sit in the common room, reading a book, when Jean approaches you. Why are you always alone with your books? You should learn from your elders and attend sermons if you hope to walk the path of a priest. We can go to the next sermon together if you wish. You promise to consider her offer. As priests, you will be bound by a lot to the will of the twins, not the will of your instructors. Still, the will of the twins is a mystery, and the revelations are ever involute. Come to think of it, learning from senior priests and studying their habits might be the best way to understand your lot. Lost in thought, you look at the enigmatic handful of students sitting in the faraway corner of the hall. What mystery are they hiding? What path have they chosen to walk? You need to decide what to do next. One way or another, Gina's right. Your books will never do your preaching for you. We can join the preachers, get some theology, improve our relations with Jean. We can search for the answer within ourselves and get some willpower. I personally don't think we need more willpower. Or, the most exciting option, we can infiltrate the secret society. Grow closer to the enigmatic group of seminary students hoping to learn their secrets. Poll? I don't think so. Willpower is overrated. I think I do want to do the secret society. Infiltrate that shit, hell yeah. Sermons and prayers are something you already know. Right now, you would rather learn something else, something new. For several days in a row, you attempt to take a seat near the enigmatic seminary students. They eye you with suspicion and avoid you every time. When you realize that this approach is not working, you try to integrate yourself with the members who seem most eager to talk. You inquire about their secret meetings and promise to keep what he tells you a secret. He tells you nothing, but he does say that he will consult with the other members of the society. Several days later, one of the enigmatic students nonchalantly invites you to take a walk with him and the others. You nod. You are strongly warned that everything that happens in there must remain a secret. You swear not to tell a soul. You are going to a sermon, one of the students whispers in your ear as you walk the streets of Eterna. But, he adds with a crafty smile, you have never heard a sermon like this before. It will turn the vision of the twins upside down. In the end, curiosity gets the better of your doubts. The students lead you to the basement of a lavishly decorated house. There are at least 50 more people in the basement hall, many of them dressed in the latest fashion. You can even see college students among the crowd. They are all waiting for someone. Finally, a stout man with a bald spot walks up to the pulpit. He is wearing a cassock, but you notice that he is not wearing the twins' cross. He seems good-natured enough. His plain face is lit up by a serene smile. Greetings, brethren. It warms my heart to see new faces here. My name is Father Mark, and I say to you, reject the twins. Cast them aside. For a moment, there is silence. You look at Brother Mark in terror, then at the seminary students who brought you here, then back at him again. The other students are staring at the false priest with what can only be described as adoration. The truth is that there is no difference between eternal bliss and eternal suffering. We will be deprived of our will in the hereafter, deprived of our very selves, immersed within the will of the twins. There will be no we in the hereafter. Our existence and our freedom exist only in the here and now. We exist only so long as we live in this world. If we resign ourselves to the lots, if we resign our lives to the will of the twins, we willingly deprive ourselves of our only chance to live, even in the short time we are allotted. We can only be our true selves and live our lives to the fullest if we reject the gods and cast away the burden of the lots. Life is short, and so we must strive to do everything before it ends. There will be no desires after the gods judge us, nor will there be any way to fulfill them in the hereafter, for we will have no will of our own. Our will exists only now, so focus on worldly life, my brethren. Reject the divine law and write your own law here in the world. Father Mark's speech is long, very, very long, and his mellow expression never changes. This man is a heretic, yet everyone admires him so much. After some time, you start thinking that there might be a kernel of truth in what he is saying. Every person lives their life bound by their lot, by tradition, by duty, by honor. Your entire life is predetermined whether you like it or not, and an opportunity to cast off this burden and seek a different way feels fascinating, even thrilling. Father Mark is a splendid orator. His words are simple and powerful, and none of them ever fall on deaf ears. You cannot help but to feel respect for this man, even if you cannot accept what he is saying. Thank you for the resub, some kind of bear. For the 2 months, I appreciate it. You keep thinking about his outlandish sermon after your return to the seminary. The sermon was like a breath of fresh air. It gives you a glimpse of the very freedom Father Mark was talking about. Don't forget to hydrate, I got you. You broke the rules. You strayed from the choices they wanted you to make. You sought other answers, sought something unlike the common knowledge truths. And you liked it. Tonight, you felt alive. You felt emotion. You were outraged. You were enchanted. You were a part of this world, and the world gave you the strength to keep living. Hey, chat. Happy birthday. We're a year older. Two major events take place while you are busy living your life. Firstly, Cornelius Tempest is no longer the great chancellor of the empire. He has been ousted and sent back to his province. His replacement is the Archduke of Monia, Agarius Monroe, the same Monroe who sought to shut down the college, the most powerful lord in the realm, finally convinced the emperor that his brother Cornelius was giving too much freedom to the lowborn. Oh my god, I need to burp so much. Why? Thank you for the resub, Fluffy Pufferfish. And thank you for the resub, Jessica's Domain, for the 2 months. Thank you. Now, the policies of the Empire will be reversed. Many fear that the new Great Chancellor will destroy the Imperial Code of Laws and other achievements of Cornelius. There are cautious rumors among the people. They say the new Great Chancellor is going to revoke the right of the common lot to be ennobled by the mantle. Secondly, Magra, your hometown, now has a new overseer, Gaius Tempest, the older brother of Emperor Uther II. Usually, the overseer of a province is its archduke. After all, it makes sense for the province's most powerful noble to impart the emperor's will to the locals. Yet, this now age-old tradition has been broken, and, to no one's surprise, Archduke Milanidas is absolutely furious. Thank you for the sub, Evan. Gaius Tempest used to be the main supporter of his brother, former Great Chancellor Cornelius Tempest. The nobles at the Emperor's court say that this is a stratagem by the Arcanian gentry who want Gaius removed from court affairs along with Cornelius. Either way, Gaius Tempest and Milanidas will be at each other's throats all over the province. This does not bode well for their future. Only one thing is clear. Magra, your home province, is about to face great changes. Spring is in full bloom. The city of Eterna is a sea of flowering trees. The apple trees are particularly prevalent. You see them growing everywhere in the seminary yard alone. How nice would it be to sit there with a good book, enjoying the apple blossoms and getting lost in important thoughts? But there is no time for that. A recent incident has the entire seminary on edge. One of the senior seminary students has been accused of having a relationship with a witch. The Inquisition had been watching the girl for a long time. When the lovers met and the girl put a floral wreath on the student's head, the Inquisition spies saw it all. The lovers were immediately arrested. You hear all about it from Jean. She looks very anxious when she comes to you to discuss the news. Are you going to watch the trial? They're only allowing priests and seminary students to attend it. We have to be there. It's an important case. We can learn so much from seeing the Holy Tribunal in action. You agree to go with her. After all, the case is highly unusual indeed. Junius Diamant, one of the leaders of the New Faith, has stepped forth to defend the students and the girl. You've already met the other leader of the New Faith, Luke, Patriarch of Archnia. But Patriarch Junius holds much more authority. The seminary students speak of him in hushed tones and only when the instructors are not around. Diamant is more than a patriarch of one of the provinces. He is an Archnian hailing from one of the great dynasties, and the leader of the Holy Order, the Empire's finest knights in service of the Twins Church. The prosecution will be represented by Father Ulrich. He is a powerful inquisitor, and the head warden at the House of Humility, the fortress that collars all mages and subdues their will to the service of the Inquisition. You have heard of him. He is a fierce man who is ardent and merciless in service of the twins. The day comes. The spacious courtroom is filled with people. All the seats are taken. The judges sit at a long table upon a platform. There are 10 of them, all high-ranking members of the church. To the right of them is a man in a black cassock. His head is shaved, and his back is perfectly straight. This man, Father Ulrich, a true and lawful inquisitor, will represent the prosecution. To the left of the judge's table stands an Archnian. He is wearing a white cassock with a cape of white and gold on his shoulders. The Archnian's blue hands rest on the edge of the table, and his expression is that of perfect calm. This man, Patriarch Junius Diamant, will represent the defense. To the left of him sit the accused, a young man in a seminary uniform and a young girl who looks like she just came back from the foot of the pillar. They are both bound in chains. Even from your distant seat, you can see that the inquisitors have shown her no mercy. The girl's face and neck are covered in bruises. There are bloody wounds on her left hand where her fingernails should be, and her right hand bears a horrible black burn. Loud voices emanate from the stalls even before the trial begins. Some chide Patriarch Junius, while others call out Father Ulrich. There are more and more of these shouts with every passing minute, and soon a judge's gavel can do very little to rein it in. The trial begins. Father Ulrich is the first to speak. Judges of the Holy Tribunal, and you, my brethren, this is an act of sacrilege beyond compare, committed within the walls of our own seminary. This man is a venomous viper nurtured in the church's bosom. He denied all of that. He denied all that is forbidden. Defied all that is forbidden. Sorry, I'm a little shaken up by venomous viper nurtured in the church's bosom. Forgive me. He defied all that is forbidden and engaged in an act of hideous lechery, already a malefaction. But worse yet, this object of his lust is an abhorrent, sinful witch. The young woman in question looks up. You see the color of her eyes, vibrant, radiant emeralds, green like the tender grass of spring. You recall a cautionary tale. Such eyes are the mark of a mage who holds sway over wildlife and nature. This blasphemer deserves nothing less than true death for what he has done. The walls of the church are no place for traitors and licentious filth. We who bring the will of the twins to the world may afford no weakness. As for the witch, put her in a collar, cut off her nose so that her comely appearance may never again lead a righteous man astray. With that, Father Ulrich takes his seat. The man who rises next is Patriarch Junius. He is as tall as a pillar, and you feel an inexplicable power emanating from him. He takes a stand before the judges. Even before he speaks, Jean winces in disgust. To her, an ally of the new faith deserves neither tolerance nor sympathy. He's already drenched in sin, and yet he thinks he can talk justice. Junius Diamant begins to speak. May it please the tribunal, the accusation is indeed true. The young man before us is at fault. It was his duty to convince the lady he had befriended to renounce all magic, and yet he encouraged her profane practices. But Father Ulrich's proposal is far too severe. I seek no lesser punishment for the witch. This is a matter for the Inquisition, but the young man need not be executed. His life is the subject of my debate. I'm gonna break my neck. 1 second, chat. Oof. It was not by force that the young man now stands before us. He sought the twins entirely of his own volition, and so I plead with the Holy Tribunal to spare his life. May he instead take the vows and habit of a monk and a vow of silence, and be subject to corporeal punishment. For the ways of the church are stern but fair. This young man need not lose his life in order to redeem himself. An accusation flies from the crowd, so Junius favors mages and takes them under his wing in his province. Look at the man who dares doubt our lots and reject the orthodox faith. We won't let your kind gain ground in Eterna. This, in turn, sparks a different cry. Another voice accuses Ulrich of being drunk with the power he has acquired by enslaving those who wield magic. Patriarch Junius attempts to pacify his followers as accusations from the Inquisitor's side keep coming. Father Ulrich marks each condemnation of Junius and the new faith with an agreeable nod, his mouth a crooked smile. The crowd begins to move. Those who side with the Inquisition start pushing against the guards to exact their own brand of justice. Junius's followers do not stand still either. They raise and form a circle around the Patriarch as well as the man and woman on trial. Accusations fly, and the air above the crowd grows hot with boiling rage. People are pushing and shoving. You hear screams of panic among the cries of outrage. You and Jean find a temporary refuge on a podium rising above the human sea. The courtroom is becoming dangerous. You must attempt to escape now or risk being trampled. There's still time, either for Patriarch Junius or Father Ulrich to say something to calm the crowd, to remind them of why they're here, but they both froze in confusion, unable to rein in the coalescing masses. Perhaps you should make your own voice heard from atop the crowd. Or would it be more sensible to escape the chaos of this courtroom? Looks like we only have one option. None of my stats are high enough. Unfortunate. Our only option is to flee the courtroom. You take Jean by the hand and leave the courtroom before the conflict reaches its culmination. You push and shove through screaming inquisitors, frenzied seminary students, and red-faced followers of the new faith. As you leave, the hall behind you erupts into screams of rage and pain and fighting. You ask Jean if she wants to stay here and see the end of the trial. No, I've seen enough. This is too much, like what happened to Alice. I don't want to see that happen next. I don't want to see what happens next. Let's get out of here at once. You make your way back to the seminary courtyard, where the apple trees are in bloom. There are so many white flowers you can barely see the leaves behind them. After the din of the courtroom, the quiet here is deafening. So quiet, you can almost hear your own heartbeat. Jean looks up the quiet sigh and touches the white petals. It feels so strange. It's like we're back in Anazote, beneath the branches of the silver tree. I wish I could feel that calm again. Don't you agree? Carefully, Jean's hand touches yours and squeezes your fingers gingerly. Then suddenly, she embraces you. You gasp with surprise and place your hands on her waist. Is this a chaste hug? Or perhaps... Her breath feels hot on your neck. Her eyelashes flutter against your skin as her arms glide up and down your back. You are not yet priests. You are not yet one with the clergy. You are not yet bound by the new lot. And for now, anything is possible. She smells so good. A lock of hair tumbles out from under her headcloth. Oh my god, Chad Thundercock, get some! You gently touch this lock with your lips. Hours, minutes, maybe seconds pass like this. Then suddenly, Jean moves away from you and looks at you defiantly, biting her lower lip. You smile in return. She will embrace you once more, will she not? She steps back. You part ways. Jean heads for the prayer cell, and you walk back to your Jesus, Thundercock. Still, you look back once more before you leave. Jean is there, watching you go. When she catches your eye, she looks away and leaves. You wanted to speak to Jean again, but she disappeared the next day. Some say she was sent somewhere else to study. Strange. Why did she tell you nothing? Why did she not say goodbye? You kept waiting for news from her at first, but as the days go by, your thoughts turn to the upcoming exams and second sacrament. All the sacred scriptures, holy procedures, and sacred hymns have been memorized long ago. You know the names of every disciple, the elder and the younger, all the patriarchs of the provinces, from the very first to the present day. And most importantly, your faith is strong, and your confidence is unshakable. The exams are behind you now. On the day of your second sacrament, you come to the great temple of the twins, already dressed in a priest's cassock. Father Jeremiah holds your belt in one hand. He will conduct your sacrament. His other hand holds the sacred book. You are to kiss it to show your complete submission to the will of the twins. You approach the altar on the commoner's side. The jagged floor hurts as it bites into your bare feet, but there is a hint of pleasure in that pain. Thank you for the resub. I dream of a Sazoth. I can no longer take my dog to the park because the ducks keep attacking him. That's what I get for buying a purebred dog. You're funny. I like you. You kneel before Father Jeremiah on the lowest of the steps leading to the altar. He speaks the word of your new lot above you. Thou shalt now carry the will of the twins to the world. Whosoever cometh to thee, thou shalt give him guidance. The twins are love and will and law. Thou shalt bring it into the world. Thy new lot is to interpret the lots and give counsel in faith. Arise, priest. You kiss the book and stand up, confidence blooming within you. You know now the answers to all questions. You are now a messenger of the true word, the one who carries true understanding. You have the power to guide people towards a righteous path, to help them see the truth, to help them find answers, for the twins will it so. New strength fills you. By the grace of the elder, you may pray to him to heal and cure those who suffer. By the law of the younger, you may pray to him to bind your foes with his wondrous power. When no one is looking, you reach for your back. The mark of the lash is gone. You feel as though you can breathe more easily now. On the morning after, you are to conduct a sacrament for the first time. You walk into a small temple on the outskirts of Eterna. Acolytes are running to and fro, preparing for the ritual while you repeat the words of the lots that you must tell the children. Slowly, the temple fills with people. You stand at the altar now, the sword in one hand and the lash in the other. 3 boys are to receive their sacrament today. A little nobleman and 2 low-born boys of the same age. The noble boy's parents are nervous and ask you to hurry with the sacrament, and so you begin. With confidence and proper pace, you recite the words of a noble's lot to the little boy kneeling before you. Then, you carefully bring the flat of the sword to his lips. The boy kisses it, and you thank the twins under your breath. Thank you for the sub, Gosti. Now it is time for the common children to receive their sacrament. You notice movement in the temple out of the corner of your eye. Someone is standing in the doorway. It's the silhouette of a woman. You recognize her. She looks sterner now, harsher. But the most striking feature about her is her eyes. They are cold, yet curious. Something glints on Jean's belt now. It is a silver seal of the Inquisition. Do continue, priest. That bitch. The boys stand before you, just like you and Nathan when you were boys. You are just like them at your first sacrament. The elder of the 2 kneels on the jagged floor. He winces slightly but holds back the tears. You recite his new lot for him and strike him twice with the lash. He shudders, yet humbly accepts the first suffering of his life. They bring the other boy to you next. He is kicking and squirming, and his face is red with tears. They force him to kneel, and he falls on all fours. The floor draws blood from his hands. Adult hands hold him still. Adult voices chide him angrily. Hey, chat. Are we the baddies? You say the words of his new lot and strike him once with a lash. The lash cuts right through the boy's shirt and soaks it with blood. The boy's cries turn to screams. You raise your head slightly and notice Jean's watchful eye. She is there, waiting. You look back down at the boy. He looks so much like Nathan, just as frightened, just as distraught, just as defenseless. You hesitate, unsure of what to do. The ritual must be finished. By your lot, you must bring forth the will of the twins and perform the sacrament of suffering. But this little boy huddling at your feet is so young. He will no doubt see so much suffering in his life. Perhaps you should show him that the world can be merciful too. Oof. I don't want to hit the kid. I think we gotta mercy him. We're supposed to reject the lots, not uphold them. That's our endgame, chat. No, I may be a child punter, but I am not going to punt this child. You lower the lash, unable to bring yourself to strike again. Then you lean over the boy and help him to his feet. The temple falls completely silent as you apologize to the boy for hurting him. Perhaps the new faith is right. Perhaps the lots are just an error made by Asadius. You want to believe this as you look into the boy's tearful face. You can feel the parents, the acolytes, and the congregation watching you in confusion. The boy gets to his feet, sniffling, and you tell him to go and live by his lot. But on the inside, you are overcome by a surge of emotion. There's a tense feeling in your chest as you think of your younger brother. You miss him so much. You cannot wait to go home and embrace your mother. The acolytes take the sword and lash away. You turn to face the altar and mutter a quick prayer to the twins for this day. You hear quiet footsteps behind your back. You know they're Jean's. Her gaze burns into your back. You do not turn around. You can never show mercy if you are to carry out the will of the twins. That boy was supposed to feel the full burden of his lot. Why did you have mercy on him? Jean takes a deep breath, ready to continue her indignant tirade. The next moment, her speech is cut short by a powerful voice that would make anyone shudder. Enough, Sister Jean. This is not why we are here. You hastily turn around and see Inquisitor Ulrich appear from the shadows. Has he been watching you perform the sacrament this whole time? Father Ulrich, I beg you to reconsider. Brother Chad isn't ready to bear such a duty. That is for me to decide. Jean frowns, but falls silent, pursing her lips. Ulrich turns his heavy gaze to you. For 2 years, I've been watching you, Chad Thundercock. Now the time has come for you to join us. Ulrich hands you a scroll, marked with the silver seal of the Inquisition. Brother Chad, the Church is appointing you an Inquisitor. You are to return to your native land and protect our true faith against heresy. Jean pierces you with an intense stare. There's doubt in her eyes. You bow your head and accept the scroll from Ulrich's hands. Then you solemnly fasten the Inquisitor's insignia into your belt. By the will of the Church and the gods themselves, you are now a servant to the Holy Order of the Inquisition. Chad, we're trying to steer you away from this. Thundercock. It's okay, he's salvageable still. Henceforth, your life belongs to the Order. You shall fight against any apostasy that threatens the Church and her flock. Cast aside your doubts, Inquisitor Brante, and be ready to fulfill your new righteous duty. Prepare yourself to set out for Anazote. A special assignment awaits you there. Sister Jean will accompany you as a fellow Inquisitor. She will tell you everything else you need to know. With that, Ulrich abruptly turns away and leaves the temple. Your answer is not required. The will of the church is the law, and you must abide by it. You're left alone with Jean. Your sister in faith betrays no emotions. Her words sound sharp and dry. The time has come to bid the capital farewell, Brother Chad Thundercock. We are leaving for Anazote tomorrow. With that, Jean leaves you alone in the temple. You turn back to the altar and finish your prayer. And with that, chat, I'm actually going to refill my water, so give me one moment, please. I'm a hydrated moth. I'm so damp. Okay. Thank you for the bits, Doom Trooper. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, it's tap water. Bullies. Since when is there a cat? Oh, I usually hide it. I forgot this time. With that, Jean leaves you alone in the temple. You turn back to the altar and finish your prayer. You have received your second sacrament. You are now rightfully ordained as a priest. Just before you leave the capital, you overhear something unusual on the street. Junius Diamant, Patriarch of Astinia and one of the leaders of the new faith, will stand trial before a church tribunal. The Order of the Inquisition has accused Patriarch Junius of patronizing blasphemous witches and disseminating heresy. Is patronizing the right word for that? I suppose it might have multiple definitions. The Holy Tribunal claims that Junius Diamant was scheming to free all witches and sorcerers from the collars that fetter their accursed powers. And what's worse, the Patriarch was also accused of forming the Lawless, a dangerous secret society based in the imperial capital. Members of the society have been assaulting inquisitors and priests of the church, as well as freeing witches from the cleansing fire and helping them escape the holy law. Now the Patriarch must face the Holy Tribunal of the Inquisition in Eterna. By all accounts, this is a devastating blow to the new faith and the end of days for Junius Diamant himself. The Inquisition will make the most of this opportunity to rid the land of this unwelcome patriarch who dared shake the foundation of the old faith. But then comes the sudden news of Patriarch Junius's reply to the Holy Tribunal. It is no less stunning than the accusation. These words are nothing but lies. I will say this to anyone who dares to bring this accusation against me in person. But I want those hypocrites to bear the full weight of the responsibility for this slander against me, my flock, the Diamant dynasty, and the Holy Order. I agree to stand trial before the Holy Tribunal, but I will face them on my own land and on my own terms. Patriarch Junius has already received strong support from Patriarch Luke and many priests across Archnia. Parishes of the new faith throughout the Empire are now speaking out in support of Junius Diamant. The Church of the Twin Gods is about to be rent in twain. The Inquisition has no choice but to revoke the trial in order to avert the coming schism. Their new official stance is that Patriarch Junius has been wrongfully accused, and the Holy Tribunal will now apply more cautious judgment during any further trials against the followers of the new faith. Following the teachings of the Patriarch Fotis is no longer seen as heresy by the Inquisition. The trial of Junius Diamant has been averted, but the divide within the church is only deepening. The new faith has directly challenged the old faith. Poggers. The result is uncertain depending on who you ask. Some say Junius Diamant all but pled guilty. Others believe that the Patriarch and the alleged rebellion against the Church, as well as the Inquisition, is nothing but a ruse. There are also people who think the entire situation sounds like one of the secret Chancellery's dirty deeds. One way or another, the Patriarch of Astinia and the co-leader of the New Faith remains at his post. But for how long? And how will the Old Faith and the New Faith clash next? The Reglata and Talrina rivers meet outside the city walls. You have barely left the capital since you came here all those years ago. A breeze is blowing in your face, and the bright noon sun hangs above the shining pillar. Your stay in Eterna has come to an end. You arrived here a boy, full of hopes and aspirations, driven by your family's expectations and a desire to live your life as you saw fit. And now you have to leave, and this thought fills you with gentle sadness. Eterna did not become your home, and yet here you realize that you can be a messenger between the will of the twins and the people. You are the hand that shows the way, the interpreter of the gods, the man who guides others to the peak when they depart for the hereafter. You have never felt so close to the twins, but now you carry within you the love and wisdom of the elder and the law and power of the younger. After your second sacrament, you started seeing the twins' presence in this world everywhere. What will you see back in your hometown or by the silver tree? You've been chosen to serve the Inquisition. Now you are more than a mere priest. You are a shield of the Church that wards away its enemies and false doctrines. A pain in your chest, right under the twins' cross, echoes at this thought. The schism between the Church and the New Faith began in Anazote. But the city is still your home. Changes are coming, and as an inquisitor, you will have to face them. You think of Sister Jean often. She was your only companion during the years of study at the seminary, and now she will teach and assist you in your service to the Inquisition. What is the connection between you? Who will you become for one another? Thundercock, I'm gonna stop you right there. You know she's a snake for the Old Faith. Come on, man. Keep it together. You exhale and close your eyes, feeling the riverside wind blowing into your face. Many things must have changed back home by now. Does Mother still pray to the twins 3 times a day? What about the others? They used to repeat the sacred words after her back then. What about now? Nathan probably follows Mom's example. Every letter he has sent you has been filled with elation over your choice of the priest's lot. Nathan failed to enter the seminary of Anazote. He said he got too nervous, and he wrote that he was ashamed of not being able to follow in your footsteps. But being ashamed of failure is against the commoner's lot, he wrote back. A commoner must humbly accept failure, just as he would accept any other kind of suffering. You should cheer Nathan up by bringing him a souvenir from the capital that will remind him of you. A token of love that says you believe in him. After giving it some thought, you head to the temple for a prayer book. You find the great temple of the twins surrounded by the usual calm and quiet. There are no loud voices coming from the people, no loud cries from the merchants. You approach a small bookstore by the temple grounds and examine the prayer books one by one. You search for one with the proper prayers for everything Nathan needs. For the good of the family, for humility, for meekness, and for following one's lot. A small book finds its way to you. The sturdy leather cover feels good in the palm of your hand. You thumb through the prayer book and nod. Everything you are looking for is here. You leave the capital the morning after in a carriage hired by the Inquisition. Eterna, the city where you spent 4 years, slowly disappears on the horizon. Will you ever see the capital again? You do not know. The prayer book is in your hands. After 4 years in the capital, you return to your home city of Anazote. Hell yeah, boys. We're gonna go see Mom and Pop again. Get that good old homemade gumbo. The years of your youth have come to an end. The time has come to leave the capital behind and return to your family and new business in your hometown of Anazote. The years away from home were full of tumult, full of hardship. Your adult shoulders now bear the burden of your first life-changing decisions. Did you have the freedom to choose this lot for yourself, or was it your destiny all along, ever since your childhood years? All you can do now is follow the path that lies before you. Rock and roll, baby. Gumbo. Gumbo, baby. I'm just gonna skip through these. We're a mediocre fighter. Good for us. All that street fighting did great work on us. Thank you for the resub, Vectus Robotics, and free booze.
A full adult now, I returned from the capital a changed man. Yet, my hometown was not the same as I had left it. Fate had difficult times in store for all of us.
God, his voice resonates. You and Jean are returning to Anazote together. You listen to the spinning wheels of the carriage as it makes its way along the road. You see the land of Magra through the window, empty, desiccated by ancient magic. You are home, but you are no longer the boy who took this road to the capital 4 years ago. You are coming back a priest. Could your family ever have imagined that this would be the lot in which you would return? You will begin your service with the Inquisition in your home province. You will be reunited with your family soon. Long time no see. Interesting. With your aid, the new believers forced Patriarch Cassius from his sacred post. I think this is the one we have to... The torch of the new faith or Cassius overthrown are both in our interest, I think. Okay, I'm just skimming these. Let's just go. What stats do we need? I don't think it tells us. Or maybe it does. And I didn't see it. Uh-oh. The air in the carriage is stuffy, despite the blinds that shut out the sun. It will take time to get used to the heat again. The scorching days are followed by freezing nights. Such is the desert in wintertime. Jean has changed drastically during her months away. You struggle to begin a conversation with her. In the end, she is the first to speak. It's time I told you of our mission in Anazote, Brother Chad Thundercock. Then why has the Inquisition decided to assign it to 2 recent seminary graduates? The Inquisition considers me sufficiently prepared for this mission, and I vouched for you. The mission that awaits us will take a long time to complete. I need somebody reliable by my side. Magra has grown restless as of late. The teachings of Fotis have taken root here. The local priests reject their duty. They tell their congregations to seek their lots within themselves. They claim the teachings of Saint Asadius are lies. Don't you see they're marching straight to the foot of the pillar and dragging their flock along with them? But that's not all. The church received an anonymous letter denouncing Cassius, the Patriarch of Magra, for enabling all manner of sects and heresies in the province and blaspheming against the god. This report must be investigated, and should we find proof in his guilt, we are to remove Cassius from his post and defrock him. Needless to say, this will not be easy. Right now, the Magran Inquisition is too weak. respected neither by the nobles nor the clergy. Until they recognize our authority, they will be unlikely to obey us. Cassius has been patriarch since Fotis' demise 5 years ago. He was elected unanimously at the sacred Conclave of Magra. He is beloved by his flock and respected by the clergy. We have therefore been strongly advised to investigate this matter in secret. We must restore the authority of the Inquisition. Then, if Cassius is indeed guilty, we must find proof. Then, and only then, may we accuse him openly. The tribunal hearing against Patriarch Junius Diamant was a disgrace. What happened there must not be repeated in Magra. The Church has entrusted Inquisitor Ulrich with this case. We are expected to assist in his investigation, however we can, and help protect Anazote against heresy. Jesus, I'm like a sponge absorbing all this water. But I think we should be wary of him. Father Ulrich is a ruthless man and a zealous inquisitor. Thank you for the bit, Cyber Saber. I appreciate it. Overzealous at times. They say he has burned entire villages to the ground for the sake of the true faith. We will do our utmost to restore the authority of the Inquisition. But I fear Father Ulrich may be inclined to abuse this authority. Please, for our sake, be discreet around him. Either way, our mission will not be simple. But we will restore order within Magra. Let's eradicate every seed of heresy here and uproot the weeds of this new faith. The city that houses the silver tree must remain a symbol of the true faith. Can I count on your support, Chad Thundercock? Our eloquence is just barely too low. That's really unlucky. Not good. I think we have to evade it. Yeah, no, we can't. I want nothing to do with the old faith. Nothing to do with it. You do not entirely agree with Jean, but you have no desire to argue with her. However, you are not willing to lie. You tell her that when it comes to purging false teachings and sects, bolstering the Inquisition's authority, or investigating Patriarch Cassius, you will be there to aid her. However, you are not yet certain about Patriarch Fotis and his teachings. The new faith is powerful, and it would be a grave error to treat it as just another sect. Jean slowly shakes her head in disapproval. I advise you to make up your mind on this matter. The fate of thousands in the hereafter may depend on it. Those who preach the new faith are guiding their flock straight to the foot of the pillar. Who's going to stop them, if not us? The walls of Anazote finally appear on the horizon. You'll see them all very soon. Father, mother, your sister, your brothers. You will tell them about your life in the capital and spend the night in your own room. You miss it so much in Eterna, and oh, how you miss your family. Coming home again at last. What a wonderful feeling. The carriage stops. The familiar gate. Your bedroom window. The same one you used to climb out of at night from time to time. The well-tended garden with its imported soil, delightful greenery, and mother's beloved violet irises. The porch you used to jump off when you were little. You are home. You touch the handle of the front door and halt for a moment. It has been 4 years since you left for Eterna, but it feels like yesterday. The air inside is cool, as usual. Father cannot stand a stuffy room and insists on constantly airing out the house. Nathan's shaggy head peeks out from behind the sitting room door. Your younger brother is the first to reach you, crying out with joy. He embraces you tightly. Nathan is now as tall as you are, but his hair almost reaches his shoulders. Jesus, he looks so old. Is that him? Is that our sweet boy? But he still has the same lost look in his eye he had when he was a boy. You're finally back, Chad. He's so old. Home just hasn't been the same without you. And look, you're wearing a cassock, a true priest. I'll never be one, unfortunately. I didn't get into the seminary. He stares at the ground guiltily. You show him the prayer book you bought for him by the great temple of the twins back in the capital. May the light of the faith shine in your eyes forevermore, brother. Nathan clutches at the little prayer book and nods with gratitude. Mother walks out of the sitting room. Nathan runs to her, and she leans on his arm as he leads her to you. Mother's back is bent. She has grown pale, and a thin web of wrinkles covers her face. She can barely stand unassisted. These are the troubling, telltale signs of the illness your brother and sister mention in their letters from home. Slowly, she embraces you. You press her face into her shoulder, breathing in the nearly forgotten, dearly beloved smell. Mother holds your shoulders and studies you for a long time. You've been away so long, my son, but it was all for a good reason. I'm so very proud you chose to follow the priestly lot. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that my own son would bring the twins' teachings to the world and save other men's souls. To think I held you in these arms not too long ago. Mother's arms are thinner now. They feel nearly weightless. Gloria walks up to you next. She is dressed in men's clothing, including culottes, a frock coat, and a necktie with a massive pin. She's almost unrecognizable in her new attire. There are dark circles under her eyes, as though from lack of sleep or frequent tears. Her first words to you are dripping with sarcasm. Well, hello there, my brother, the priest. Can't say I expected that. You'll be the one watching over our souls now, I suppose. You offer composed response. You will always be ready to help Gloria if she finds herself in need of spiritual guidance. But you are not just a priest, you are also her brother. Gloria breaks into an involuntary smile. She finally lets her feelings show and embraces you. Loud footsteps echo down the hall. Stefan appears. Your elder brother has grown taller and broad-shouldered. You notice how harsh his features have become. He looks even more like grandfather now. Stefan greets you politely with a solemn nod. Greetings, brother. It's a shame you returned with a cassock rather than a sword. But at least you weren't left a commoner, like our youngest brother. You may not have earned a noble lot, but your cause is important to the Empire. The Brante family welcomes you. God, I hate his lips. Look at this gross asshole. As he says these words, you hear the door to Father's office open. Father looks older. His back is hunched, and he squints. There are deep lines around his mouth and silver threads in his dark hair and mustache. He stops a few steps away and examines you from head to toe. You meet his gaze. When I sent you off to the capital, I didn't expect you to return like this. But you have chosen your own path. I am saddened that you won't follow in my footsteps, but such is the will of the twins. I accept your decision. With a bit of hesitation, Father comes closer and pats you on the back. Well then, time for dinner. Your mother has prepared a veritable feast for you. For the first time in years, the entire family is together. You can finally spend some time with another member of your family today. We can ask about Mother, we can ask about Gloria, we talk to Nathan, talk to Stefan. I'm gonna be honest, chat. Really want to talk to Gloria. I think out of all of our siblings, I definitely care about her the most. Stefan's obviously a fucking asshole. Nathan sort of sits in like a gray zone for me. At the table, you try to ask Gloria about her life, but your sister evades your questions. I live, I suffer, I help around the house. I know my place, just like a lowborn girl is supposed to. Then be silent, Gloria. Your brother's lot is not to offer guidance to the lowborn, not endure their pleas. Why don't you tell us if you made any useful acquaintances, Chad? You have to relate the 4 years you spent in Eterna. Only later in that night, when the family's getting ready for bed, do you manage to have a conversation with your sister by the smoldering fireplace. You assure Gloria that your cassock and priestly status will never come between you. She is still your sister. Gloria casts a wary glance at you, then finally gives free rein to her feelings. As you embrace, she buries her face in your shoulder. You stroke her tangled curls. I really hope you'll always be my brother, Chad. Mother, Nathan, and we all seem to be unwanted in this house. Sir Robert spends all his time at work, so Stefan has been running the household. It's taken a heavy toll on Mother. I can see her losing the will to live. You know, at her age, she might pass away forever and not be reborn. She had to endure a lot before she met Sir Robert, and her illness is consuming her. All Stefan cares about is getting the family ennobled by the sword. He'd sacrifice anyone for it. I'm worried the first thing he's gonna do is drive me out of the house so I won't taint the Brante family name again with my origins. I'm just an obstacle to him, a hindrance. You know, Chad, I'm not sure how much longer I can tolerate this injustice. Times are changing. If I'm a lowborn, that doesn't mean I'm going to serve the nobles until my true death. All over the Empire, commoners are fighting for their rights. Gloria suddenly cuts herself short. For a long time, you sit in silence, listening to the crackling fireplace. Hey, me too. The Brante family is about to face some challenging times. Hell yeah, boy. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how much more my mouth can endure. Oof. Phrasing. I know, chat. I'm probably gonna do like, I'm gonna find the next best place to stop and then I'm gonna stop, I think. Maybe a little bit early, but but it's talking for an hour and a half straight is kind of a lot sometimes. Spring has come. The nightly chill of the desert loses its bite. The daily heat dissipates in gentle rains. At the local Inquisition ward, you are greeted only by dust, dirt, and silence. The building is completely abandoned. It takes both of you several weeks just to make it presentable again. Father Ulrich is yet to arrive. You and Jean have kept your arrival a secret, but you cannot wait any longer. Today is the day when a sacred conclave must assemble in every province of the Empire. You have to make your presence known to the brothers and sisters of the clergy and announce your mission to purge heresy and apostasy. During a sacred conclave, each province elects a patriarch to represent the faith for the next 8 years. In the old days, every man and woman of the flock had to attend the conclave, but that tradition is long gone. Now, only the clergy have a say. Conclave Day is a sacred day indeed. On this day, the twins themselves descend and reside within the temples of the Empire. They bear witness to the chosen patriarchs of each province, the holiest among equals, the men who will speak to the gods themselves on behalf of their flock. Cassius assumed the patriarchate after the tragic death of Patriarch Photis and has not been presented to the twins yet. Nevertheless, there is no doubt Cassius will be elected by the clergy of Magra once again. The conclave is held at the temple by the Silver Tree. The last time you went there, you were just a little boy. You were struck by the tree even then. But now, as you gaze at it, as though it were an... Oh, I gotta wrap up after this chapter. Now you gaze at it as though it were an old friend. As an inquisitor, you no longer need to touch the tree to feel life beating within it. The square by the silver tree is rarely crowded, but today it is packed. All 3 lots are represented here in ample numbers. The nobles repose in soft chairs. Thank you for the sub, Reeve. In the shade of the tents. The clergy file into the temple one by one. The common folk swarm the square, pushing and shoving for a better view. You hear cries of joy, a hum of approval, and applause. The common people do indeed favor Cassius. You and Gian have to push through the crowd to reach the temple doors. Not even Eterna had crowds this big. I thought we'd be trampled for sure. Before entering the temple, you place your hand on the trunk of the tree. It is remarkably warm. At least one thing is still the same. There are over 100 people in the temple. All the clergy of the Magra are gathered here, from the abbots of the principal Magran temples to traveling preachers. Most wear the black robes of the Old Faith. In the far corner of the hall, however, you see several priests of the New Faith. Few in numbers, and dressed in white, they keep to the side. You and Jean sit on the front row. The others eye you with curiosity and suspicion. You catch your names among the whispers that fill the temple. It seems your arrival was a secret to no one. There's so much fear in them, so much hatred. Do you think they're hiding something? Or has someone poisoned their minds against our order? The cheering of the crowd drowns out Jean's words. Patriarch Cassius is approaching, blessing the people around him as he crosses the square. The Patriarch enters the temple. The doors are locked behind him. The clamor grows quiet. Cassius has a pleasant look about him. A sturdy, middle-aged man, he greets people with a soft, peaceful smile. Those gathered at the temple rise from the pews to greet the Patriarch. The priests in white cassocks are the last to rise. One of them, a priest of considerable age, catches your attention. You are struck by his clean-shaven face and the uncannily sharp look in his eye. The trim of the cassock is embroidered with gold, and his hands rest upon a long staff to help him stand. That is Father Leonard. He has been the abbot of this temple for over 20 years. I remember him a kind and wise man, but my sorrows for him know no measure now. Fotis' teachings have clouded his mind. The Patriarch greets the audience with a dignified bow, and everyone takes their seats. Cassius slowly ascends the stairs to the altar of the twins and kneels before their images. The words of his prayer echo throughout the temple. O heavenly lords, O givers of life, the younger defender of the world, judge and counselor, the elder, the spirit of truth, and love filling everything with his presence. We humbly abide by your law, by the 3 lots of Asadius. May the righteous achieve eternal bliss, and may the sinners suffer retribution without mercy. In your sight, I'm hereby relinquish my authority as Patriarch. May you allow your children to elect him who shall take my place. The air feels heavy, as though it is pressing down on you. The priests remain motionless, holding their breath. An incredible, all-consuming silence falls upon the room. In this silence, you hear the faint patter of footsteps across the hall. The moment slowly passes. The illusion fades. The air becomes light again. A staff taps against the tiles. The leader of the new faith approaches Cassius. We have seen their sign. The twins are with us now. I, Father Leonard, abbot of the temple by the silver tree, declare the second conclave open. Father Cassius, will you please join the rest? With a smile, Cassius does so. And so the Conclave of Magra must elect a patriarch to speak to the twins on behalf of our faith for the next 8 years to come. Speak the names of those who are worthy. Several dozen voices answer his call all at once. Cassius, Cassius, Father Cassius. No other candidate is mentioned. Father Leonard rubs the bridge of his nose before he continues. So, you have spoken the name of Father Cassius. I hear none other. Then let us begin the ceremony. The acolytes give every priest 2 stones, one black and one white. An enormous bowl is brought to stand before the altar of the twins. Once the stones have filled the bowl, Father Leonard begins to count them, dividing them into 2 piles on either side of the altar for all to see. I count 1 black stone for each new believer here. Does this mean all the others trust him without reservation? Then let the will of the sacred conclave be done beneath the watchful eye of the twins. Father Cassius shall be our patriarch. He shall be our voice before the twins and our mentor in this earthly realm. Cassius steps before the altar, the soft smile still on his face. Before the image of the twins, I accept my burden as Patriarch of Magra. May the wisdom of the younger and the power of the elder grant me strength in this service. The priests rise from their pews once again to cheer for the new Patriarch. Father Leonard raises a hand, calling for silence. Brothers and sisters, this conclave is concluded. But before we enter this temple to announce the name of the new patriarch to the people, we must first hear out the inquisitors who have come to our province. They will proclaim their mission so that each priest may relay their word to his or her parish. You and Jean take a step towards the altar, but an unexpected creaking sound startles those within the temple. The temple door bursts open. An armed squad marches into the hall, champions of faith, warriors of the Order of the Inquisition. They are led by Inquisitor Ulrich. He holds an an edict sealed with 3 seals. Who dares violate the laws of the sacred conclave? The doors of this temple must remain closed until a new patriarch has been elected. The patriarch's voice booms within the temple walls, as though the twins themselves shared his indignation. And yet, Inquisitor Ulrich only raised his eyebrows in response. But Patriarch, the conclave has concluded, has it not? I am Inquisitor Ulrich. I have been sent by the Order of the Inquisition to purge the last remnant of Char Milanitis' legacy from your province. Anyone insolent enough to stand in my way shall be branded an ally of the heretics and sentenced to true death. You exchange a quick glance with Jean. Purging the dark legacy of Char Milanitis from the province may be a trumped-up excuse, but it grants an inquisitor incredible authority. Here in Magra, it is all too easy to tie anything and anyone to the rebellious Duke. There are 2 other inquisitors present here. I want their voices to be heard, not just by the members of the conclave, but by the common people as well. The clergy of Magra often tend to ignore or utterly distort the will of the Inquisition. I am here to prevent this from happening. His words are met with indignant cries, but Father Ulrich remains still, his piercing gaze transfixing Cassius, waiting for an answer. The Patriarch is perplexed at first, but he slowly begins to regain his composure as he recognizes the support he enjoys on the part of the clergy. You have no right to bring strife to this house of the twins. Magra never required the attention of the Inquisition when I was its patriarch, and nothing has changed. Our congregation's faith is stronger than ever. Confidence in his voice grows. The other priests support him with shouts of encouragement. Inquisitor Ulrich takes several steps towards Cassius. Those are powerful words, Patriarch. The Order of the Inquisition wants to determine whether or not they are true. If they are, we will leave Magra. Ulrich gestures for you to come closer. But I have interrupted your speech, Inquisitors. Come, make our intentions known. I am certain the people will give you their due attention now. Brother Chad, Thundercock, kindly address those who have gathered here today from the temple steps. Oh. You address the gathering with peace and reconciliation. You address them with words of accusation. Fuck Ulrich, fuck Jean. We are rejecting the Inquisition. We are rejecting the old order. Let's go, baby. You stand on the steps of the temple. The crowd watches your face, distraught. The clergy stare at your back, wary and alert. It is as though the entire city has gathered to hear you speak. You tell them that the Inquisition has come to Anazote on an important mission, but it is by no means a mission of punishment. You have been sent here to save souls, to protect them from the dangers of heresy and magic. All of you, yourself included, are but humble children of the twins. Those whose faith is strong have nothing to fear from you. The crowd is silent. Jean stares at you in confusion. You hear hushed whispers among the clergy behind your back. It brings me joy to hear those words. To fight the scourge of magic is a worthy cause, but I doubt you will find it here in Magra. Thank you for the resub, Spaceman Pika, for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Now, excuse me while I greet my flock and announce the conclusion of the Conclave. You breathe a sigh of relief when you return to the Inquisition ward. Inquisitor Ulrich is not pleased with you, and he makes no effort to hide it. I was told to act as your mentor. The first thing I will tell you is this. You must cast away all fear and indecision. They are luxuries we cannot afford. We are the servants of the twins. We are their shield, their sword of punishment. We are the ones who must be feared. Inquisitor Brante, you are supposed to show our strength, but instead you only showed weakness. You are supposed to remind the sinners of the inevitable punishment that awaits them. You are supposed to strike fear into the hearts of the apostates, to show the flock that we are here to root out all heresy and sin. But instead, you made it seem as though our mission will not affect them. You two will handle the affairs of the Order while I investigate the Patriarch's schemes. Dismissed. Ugh. And on that note, chat, my mouth is... No, I can't. I'm not gonna say that. I can't say that. Yeah, a cursed run. It's a pretty cursed one. It is my first playthrough of the life and suffering of Sir Brante. Hold on. I have the tiniest drip of water in this glass. Do I plan on doing multiple? Maybe not. Maybe not on stream. I think I'd like to find another, like, virtual novel or visual novel after this. Just because I don't know how much people would tolerate me reading through literally everything again and just making different choices, you know? I know it branches off pretty hard, from what I understand. Rescue raid? Oh, shit! Hold on, chat. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Give me just one moment to wrap up my shit. Yeah, I'll absolutely raid rescue. Give me just a moment. Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna be back to regular streams like super shortly. I'm over the kind of slump that I had. The fog has lifted. I feel way fucking better. So I am definitely going to be streaming more often. I'm probably going to finish Katana Zero within the next couple days. And I want to get into Subnautica. I also want to get into Dark Souls 1 and Darkwood and Outer Wilds. I have a lot of plans. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to start up a raid. If we can get a raid message going super, super quickly. Don't please. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a raid message. If you do Piss Moth, I'll ban you. No, I'm kidding. I won't ban you. I'll just be mildly disappointed. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm about to send you off. All right, I'll see you guys soon. I love you. Mwah. Go get him.